check out our pre-market data coming out. So right now for the week, we are up 3.5% on the Dow. We are up almost 6% on NASDAQ, kind of recovering from last week and basically all of January. January was a bloodbath for stocks. I think it was the worst month for NASDAQ, or almost the worst month since 2008. So that's a big deal with us having the Great Recession. So we got S&P 500 up almost 5.5% for the week as well, and all of these are up almost 0.5% or a little bit more than 0.5%. Now, us trading GJ UK 100 FTSE is up 0.5% and up almost 2.5% for the week. So these are all good numbers. We're in recovery when it comes to where we're at. So let's check out our economic calendar. Yeah, and those of you guys that are on here, we were supposed to be live with Sharma, but she went to Lake Tahoe yesterday, and she won't be back till like 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, which is actually like right now, or she won't be leaving until like right now, so she wasn't able to make it. So that's all good. Let's check out Kat's chart real quick before we break down the charts. Okay, so you're looking at this area over here on gold. Now, Kat, this area right here on the 1 hour is a bunch of wicks, correct?
On the 1 hour?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I feel like safer buys are definitely above 1810.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that, only because we have ADP today. So like this whole range, I know it looks like we're coming up. I could see us stalling out over here, coming down to retest maybe this level over here. You can see my mouse, right?
Yes.
Actually, I'll just draw for you. I can see it's coming down to retest this level right here, possibly, and then continue up from here. But at the same time, this whole area right here is just a bunch of wicks. A lot of rejection from this area. So safer buys are going to be above this level, right up to this level over here. We got this clean move right here. Makes sense?
For sure. Yeah.
So we'll see what we get. You know, it's not definite. You know, you got to be fluid in the market, but at the same time, this whole area right here is kind of ugly to me. All right. So looking at the economic calendar, what we have today is ADP. Right. So this is a big deal. This is our preview of what we're going to see with NFP on Friday. So we're going to see what we get at 8:15 over here. They're expecting a lot less jobs, right? Added over here below 200,000. The last time we were expected below that was quite a long time ago. Yeah, not since March of 2021. So we're starting to get into that area at the beginning of the year. It's February 2nd. It's a good month, my birthday month. So we'll see what we end up getting over here. Looking at the charts, let's do a nice little simple breakdown. Price on the weekly. Obviously, we rejected our levels up here. I'll actually mark off 156. So we got 156 over here. Price, very similar price action over here. Same exact thing that happened right here is now happening right over here. But and as you can see, we ended up holding a support right over here. Right? We ended up rejecting kind of like what we have right over here. So is this candle going to continue to push up, or are we going to end up rejecting this level and continuing right back down and retest the low over here? Now, we have interest rates coming out for Great Britain or the Bank of England tomorrow. So that's what I think price is really waiting for. It's been very unappealing on the lower time frames on GJ. So it's something that you just want to be aware of, like the way the price action is setting up. Is it trending? In a way, it is a little bit, but it's also just really tight. Like price is really tight in that one area that it's in right now. So that's something that you got to be aware of, and something that maybe it's like better for you to be trading your secondary pair, like gold, like EJ, like UJ, UCAD, any of these pairs that you guys like to trade. Maybe it's a better idea for you to look for setups on those. Low ADP could mean gold might go up, right? Yep, absolutely. Anything bad, any kind of fear in the market, that means gold is possibly going to be rallying. So, well, actually, going back to and breaking down the candle anatomy again, like I said yesterday, we had this strong bearish close, created a top wick, passed the low of this candle right here, closed a strong bearish candle, right? This candle passed the low of that candle, rejected this whole level down here. As you can see, we have candle bodies to the left over here as well. Rejected this level. This candle didn't have a bottom wick, passed the high of that candle, and now it's pushing up, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to mark off our weekly levels for the current weekly candle over here, and then we're going to go down to the daily. So we've been in this bullish trend over here, gradually continuing up, trying to price in the interest rate hike. Kind of, and this is all sentiment right here, right? Bouncing off this level. Obviously, this is technical, but also like the fact that we've been bullish the past couple of days is that it's all and starting last week, it's all sentiment, just like this was right here. This whole move right here was all just the idea that they were going to increase rates. So now they're being a little bit more cautious, seeing, you know, what's going to actually happen. And if they do, you're going to see a retest of 156 and a continuation back up to 158, I believe. All right. There we go. So looking at the 4 hour, as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Very unappealing. You had this bearish trend actually got broken right over here. Price respecting it, lower lows, lower highs. And now we've been gradually working our way up, but we keep rejecting. I would put this right here at 155, 200. 155, 200 is a level that price keeps failing to break above. But once we do, we got a solid move up to 155, 500, but eventually right back up to 156. Because I think if we break 155, 200, we should be heading for 156. But we'll see if we tap such a significant area before interest rate hikes tomorrow, right? Are we going to break above this level? We need to close above this level on a higher time frame for price to continue up. But right now we are holding this support over here, right? We are printing higher lows, higher highs. But again, it's just very messy price action. But right now we are forming a higher low right in this area, and we're starting to approach that 200 level. Looking at the 1 hour over here, same exact thing. All these rejections over here, we're just going to mark this off. We need to close above that level. Actually, drag this over to the left. Anybody seeing anything different? We all on the same page?
Yeah, totally. GJ hasn't appealed to me all week.
There we go. I like that.
I'll send my chart right away.
Thanks. Who was that? Reese?
Yeah, I ended up switching to my phone, so.
Oh, sounds so much better.
For mine too.
Get you part of the conversation. I love it. Thanks, David. Check out David's chart right now. Yeah, so David sees the rejection of 200 over here, right? And you end up taking this?
Yeah, I send that before and after.
Oh, beautiful. Let's check out the after. Spot on. You get multiple rejections over here. What we were looking at something similar yesterday on gold, when gold was rejecting that level on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute. I actually have a journal. I'll bring it up in a second. Oh, got another one coming in.
No. Yeah.
Okay, and then this is pound dollar. Okay, so this is good. This whole area, you see multiple rejections from this area. Things are starting to weaken over here, and as you can see, this high right over here is higher than any of these highs over here. So you see the pressure starting to pile on coming down, right? and you see the support starting to break over here, I would have probably waited to take this a little bit, maybe somewhere in this area. Once we start getting like these rejections over here, these liquidity grabs before heading down. Because this was a little messy, but this is the 15-minute. It may look clearer on the 30-minute for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then this trade, you get the support forming, you got the resistance breaking, creating a high. We come down, hold support. You enter this as it breaks the high over here.
Yep. I got
Okay.
that after.
Okay, how's that playing out?
I came out. Send the wait.
Same one.
The same one.
Yeah,
Oh,
both
shit.
of them are same one.
Oh,
You're good.
I'm bad.
And I'm just gonna answer Kat's question while you do that. For GJ, the Bank of England monetary policy is what we're waiting for, right? That's what will tell us the interest rate hikes. Yes, absolutely. So not only that, but you're gonna have the monetary policy statement coming out tomorrow, but also you're gonna have Barely speaking 30 minutes after that. So he's gonna give you a good sense of what he's thinking as far as bank rate hikes and you know the next time they may do it, if they do it, or if they don't do it, when are they actually going to increase rates? One thing that you guys want to understand too, and this is good, I think this is good. I believe I was going over this with Sharma on the Monday morning breakdown or Monday afternoon breakdown. The Fed, I don't think should be doing 50 basis point increases. Right, I don't think we should have 3 or 4 of those this year. I think that's going to rattle the market too much. I think it should only be 25 basis points. And now it seems like this is the sentiment coming out of the Fed. Even the most hawkish Fed members, they're all leaning towards only 25 basis points because they know that's a little too much. It's too soon to do something like that. Where is it? It's I'm just going to bring this out. Again, I always tell you guys, subscribe to the Bloomberg 5 things to start your day. It gives you every single, version of this for every single session, Asian session, Europe session, and American session. And it's free, right? But this is what I'm talking about right over here. So you have the Fed. None of the 6 Federal Reserve officials speaking so far this week have backed the idea of a half-point rate increase in March. And the most aggressive, James Bullard, president of the St. Louis Fed, said 5 hikes, one more than every quarter, is not too bad a bet. Ideally, the Fed prefers to go gradually, said Kansas City Chief Esther George, who's another hawk. The measured calls contrast with Wall Street forecast for as many as 7 rate hikes or even a half-point adjustment. See, that we can't have that many rate hikes. You're going to see who knows what happens when you increase rate hikes or when you increase rates. Anybody?
Inflation should go down.
Okay, exactly. That's the whole idea of increasing rates. This is nice. David, did you secure at all or close 50? Once we came.
I actually took this because I first took the GJ trade, but it's actually nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't took it too because like it was kind of.
Oh, you
I
didn't take
took the
this?
GJ first trade, and then like I didn't want to take another trade. GJ
Got it.
gave me the 2-to-1.
So you didn't take this?
No, but it's
It was just a
I
live.
would take this all day, but I was
Okay.
trying to be more disciplined myself.
I like it. This one's number 1. So yeah, back to the Fed. So to increase rates, you're trying to combat inflation. You're trying to combat the most inflation we've had in 40 years. So what happens to the stock market though? What happens to business? What happens to everything basically once they increase rates? And what is increasing rates anyway? Does anybody know?
They're decreasing the money supply,
Yes.
which
Not well, in a way. They're doing that with tapering, right? With pulling back, buying all those bonds, which is basically giving the U.S. government money, right? They're pulling back on that. They're saying no more money for the U.S. government. They don't need it right now because citizens are now getting back to work. We're starting to live with COVID. We're understanding all that. The U.S. government, you don't need that money anymore. I'm going to take that back, right? But what does that do? What is now increasing rates do? That's tapering. That's buying bonds back or taking their bonds back, or not buying as many. Better way to say that. But what is increasing rates going to do?
Less business borrowing or consumer borrowing of loans.
Makes it much harder. So we've been living in a time where it was extremely easy to start a business, extremely easy to borrow money, extremely easy to borrow capital to start up a business, right? Now, when they increase rates, it's going to be a lot harder to borrow that money. It's going to cost more, right? So when it costs more to start a business, or costs more to get starting capital, or costs more to get any kind of working capital, it's going to cost more to run a business, which means now my bottom line is now going to increase. It's going to raise. Like I'm not going to be able to pay my employees as much. I'm not going to be able to get as much inventory to sell to my customers. Get what I'm saying? And it puts a stranglehold on businesses a little bit. So when you do that too fast and businesses aren't ready, stock market just takes a plunge.
Right. It's like too much too soon.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to touch on, it's a little, change the subject, but also pertaining to the same thing. A lot of you guys are originally technical traders, right? A lot of you guys are focusing on the market. You're focusing on candles, trying to read candles, trying to predict where price is going to go. And right now, at the same time, you're trying to understand fundamentals and learn fundamentals on a regular basis, right? Do you feel like that has been a little confusing to any of you guys?
At first, but I think I'm starting to get used to it. Like when there's some news coming out, I try just to focus on, all right, if the news comes out good, this is what it means. If the news comes out bad, this is what it means. And I'll write that down like on my journal. So I'll kind of be focusing on that aspect, not so much on like the whole bigger picture of what it means. But slowly I'm trying to grasp the bigger picture, I guess.
Okay. I'll put it like this. I don't want you guys to get too confused. I want you guys to be able to focus on, for the main part, it's almost like your pairs, right? Where you're focusing on one pair for the most part, and then you got your secondary pair that you don't backtest as much. It's just a pair that you've been watching, you've been live backtesting, you've been taking whenever your regular pair doesn't have moves. Kind of like gold for a lot of you guys, right? Gold is something you guys are all studying and understanding the way it moves, stuff like that. But it's the same exact thing with technical and fundamental analysis. They're both equally as important, but I want you guys to mainly focus on one aspect before you really start moving on to the other one. Like if you haven't mastered technicals and you start, focusing on and spending a lot of your time on fundamentals, which is good because you should be, but at the same time, if you're doing that, it could confuse you. So I want you, if that's getting in the way, I want you to spend a little bit more time on technicals, a little bit more time breaking charts down, studying your previous trades, all that stuff. I want you to focus more of your time on that. And then maybe give yourself 20 minutes at the end of every single day while you're in bed. If you have an iPad, you have an iPhone, just researching fundamentals and what's going on in the market, why it's moving the way it's moving, stuff like that. But when you're sitting at your computer every single day, when you're focusing on your charts, your journal, all that stuff, you really have to spend a lot of that time on back testing and understanding the way candles move.
Right, for sure.
Makes sense? But again, don't completely back off of fundamentals now that I say that, because I want you guys to understand why the moves are happening. Got 3 ways to study the market: technical, fundamental, and sentimental, if you want to call it that. So they're all equally as important, but you really want to focus on one at a time.
Right.
Hey, Steph.
What's up, brother?
Can you explain the you said technical, fundamental, and what was the last one?
Sentiment. So that's basically where people think price is going to go. It's like people's feelings.
Gotcha. All right, for sure.
Can you hear my dog?
Yeah, but it's all good.
Give me a second. All right. So we are back, and it looks like GJ is rejecting this level over here. We've seen this many times, haven't we?
Yeah.
What are the chances we reject this whole range right here and come right back down? Now we have to identify our current zones, our current areas of interest. One of them in the next level, I believe, is right here, most recent support. Right. So now what's the range? You got about 20 pips over here. What are the chances that if we close bearish here in the 30-minute, right, in about 8 minutes, the next candle creates a top wick past the low, we could come right back down here after rejecting this level so many times? And we're looking at the last time we rejected it, right? We rejected it once, come down, create a low, come up here, create a lower high over here, and then we come right back down and create a new low. So again, GJ is definitely sticky. Definitely something that you want to be aware of and sticking to your setups. And we are trading in an overall range right here, I would say.
That's a potential trade that you like, though, despite all of
This
that.
isn't ideal. This isn't like really what I want to take, but you got to be fluid in the market and see certain things that you've seen before. Like this is an intuition trade. Like when we see, breaking this down further, when we see all these kind of like what's his face, David was just sending over. You see the multiple rejections of this area over here, and now it's starting to get weaker. Right now we're starting to retest, but barely tapping it. Right then we create a new low down here, and that was during London. So London was very bearish. Pre-New York, we come up to retest this area. We fail to break 200, right? And now we're starting to fail to break up here. We keep getting these rejections. So I'd like maybe a pass of this candle over here. If you're going to take this, we got to see the way these candles close to see if that's going to be a valid trade.
Mm-hmm. And if interest rates do increase for GBP, like we're expecting, we could potentially break out of that weekly level and continue further up.
Oh, I don't doubt at all that we would break 200. I think that's what we're waiting for. Because when you have levels like this, not that it's a super strong level like 156 or 158, something like that, or 149, but 155, 200 right here is just a strong level that we see technically. Now, what's it going to take for us to break out of a level like that?
Right. Makes sense. So in a time like that, would we be trading around the actual news, or like we would be waiting like 10 minutes after kind of thing? Because we don't want.
Yeah, unless you back tested interest rate hikes many different times, you're confident in the move, you open a separate account for trading news and you set a buy stop, sell stop. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome. But to me, I'd much rather just trade the reaction to the news, because you're going to get plenty of movement and you're going to get some nice setups on your way up there. even if they're just like wick retests and stuff like that, you should be able to find a setup that you could take price up and grab something pretty significant. But we'll be on the stream tomorrow during that. Let's see. Yeah, 7 a.m. This is going to be going on tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll be on at 6:30, getting ourselves ready. Then we got Bailey speaking at 7:30. So maybe we'll even watch that tomorrow while that's coming out. Now, we also have unemployment claims coming out tomorrow as well, as far as ISM services PMI coming out too. So with that data that just came out, back on Tuesday, we had ISM manufacturing data that came out. So that was actually better than expected, just about the same thing, but better than expected. So we'll see what services is now, right? What are the costs for services? What are the costs for staying in hotels and all that good stuff?
And for trading such big news like interest rates, would we be trading in the 5-minute or not necessarily?
If we need to find a setup on the 5-minute, maybe. But again, you just got to be fluid. You got to understand like every single time frame and the ability that these time frames have to tell you what's happening. Just like the 1 minute, like the 1 minute gives you data every 60 seconds. So it's telling you how many times are we rejecting certain levels over here. And it gives you that idea. Not that you're taking trades on the 1 minute or you're even ready for it, but just understanding the way it moves, just like the monthly does, right? They're all candles. They're all the same candles. It's just more data in the candles of the monthly chart than in the 1 minute chart. Way more data.
Okay.
But the candles all move the same. So, if you have experience trading on the 5-minute, then go for it. And if that's part of your edge, part of your strategy, and something that you back tested over time, then yeah, go for it. But if it's not, and you're still really trying to get profitable, you're still trying to get like your feet underneath you and really understand the market, stuff like that, then I would stick with some of the higher time frames. And if you don't get a setup on those, just watch it, live back test it, watch it happen, and see how you can catch it the next couple of times. Experience trumps all, and the fastest way to gain experience is through backtesting. I know I sound like a broken record with you, don't I?
No, it's true.
Yeah, sometimes you got to hear it. So that's GJ over here. We're gonna see if we get that bearish close over here, maybe another rejection in this area, and then the next candle past the low or past the low of this area over here. If we're looking at the 15-minute, maybe you want to wait for a break of this level right here before you take anything. But just be aware, if this is not your setup, if you don't like trading in a consolidation like this, by all means, but this could be a play taking price right back down into this area to maybe create a lower high or a higher low to then continue back up to 200. But right now, we keep rejecting this level over here. We can get the 30-minute. 30 minutes going to close in 2 minutes. So we'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, we'll go over to gold real quick and see what we're looking at. We're going to hop back over to GJ too. So I have 1800 marked off right here. Obviously, very strong level. We can't decide whether we want to stay above 1800 or below 1800 over the past, 8-9 months. Back since June, May, July, we've been like just playing around with 1800 for a long time and playing between 1750 and 1830. Right, all in this area. So now we're back below 1830 over here, and now we're trying to figure out what we want to do. Right, they are talking about increasing rates in many of these central banks, so you can definitely understand why gold would be coming down. Looking at the daily over here, we're now reacting to our previous key area of 1787, 1786, previous support, resistance of this consolidation, and then we've had bullish movement from this area multiple times. Right? And now we're starting to push up again. Right? This candle, we got a bullish candle close. We got this candle close, creating a wick to fill. this candle grabbed liquidity past the high or flip bullish, but past the low of this candle. Now it's flipping bullish. Are we going to fill this wick and continue up into this area? Because every single time we've been pushing up from here, right? We've stalled in here. Here it is. We've stalled right around here, or this has always been a key area that we gotta look at. So what I'm looking at is, what are the chances that we grab liquidity, tap into this area, hold resistance, create a lower high, and then continue right back down and retest those lows? Right, that could very well happen over here. So the current daily candle already created a bottom wick, flipping bullish. What are the chances we fill that wick today? We also have this wick coming into this area and this wick. Oh, by the way, this is a complete change of subject. But guys, if you guys are investing in crypto, we've had multiple guys in here lose their money from scams or anything like that when it comes to people scamming their accounts on Coinbase, whatever the case may be. I've said time and time again, security is number one. I have a client that I drive that's been into crypto. He's much older and doesn't really understand this stuff too much, but he just lost like 30 grand from Coinbase because he was answering a text or a call from somebody that said they were from PayPal. They needed his account. Basically, it was a dumbass move. You know, like, I don't know why he did it, but he's basically out like 30 something grand. So that's yeah, Cat.
Like, they hacked his account.
They hacked his
He
account.
answered the call.
What was that?
Sorry, there's like an airplane coming by.
Oh, you're good.
They hacked his account because he answered a call like at a time that, I don't know, that he was on his app, or did they somehow get like information? Is that what it was? I thought Coinbase was safe.
No, we had Nathan in here lost quite a bit from something like that. Yeah, it's ruthless, the crypto game. You just got to be careful.
But then what about when we withdraw from like any broker or anything like that? I mean, I have Coinbase is my wallet.
Well, that's fine. But I just wouldn't be holding my crypto in Coinbase like over a long period of time, right? And I certainly wouldn't be answering any of those calls. And I'm sure you guys are smart enough not to do that. But you know, this is how, like, you know, the whole craze in the 80s with Wall Street and stockbrokers.
Mm-hmm.
And like they would just pump everything up, or they stockbrokers really make a commission no matter where price goes. So it could be something like that where you're calling an older couple, or you're calling somebody like saying like, listen, I got the hottest stock in the market right now. If you guys have seen Wolf of Wall Street, airtime dynamic, right? It's just like a little shack out in the woods. It could be the same exact thing. People falling for these things, like older people falling for these crypto scams. You just don't pick up these calls. Don't answer these people. If they want your login info, do not give anything. But the number one thing I think anyone should do is buy one of those ledgers. If you guys are really into crypto, buy one of those ledgers and see, if and you'll see once you get one of those. I was just letting Carlos in. Once you get one of those ledgers, you'll see that like how much they emphasize security when it comes to do not share this passcode with anybody. Don't share your wallet with anybody. Don't share anything because, we can't get that back for you. So I have multiple different cards in my house in different places of my passcode for that. Like you can't write it on a computer. You can't type it into Google Sheets, anything like that. It's all got to be just written down physically because crypto is just a ruthless market. I was telling them last night, listen, man, I wish I could help you, but there's no 1-800 number we're going to call. There's nobody we can get a hold of. Like that money's virtually gone. If anybody knows anything different that I can help them with, please let me know. But I think it's as good as gone.
I haven't had any issues with Trust Wallet. So
Trust Wallet?
Yeah, Trust Wallet, if you guys want to check that out.
Okay.
Their security is pretty good too, because when you sign up, you get like there's like a bunch of words with numbers. So those ones you have to write down. It's like 10 words or something like that. So,
24 for me. Here, this is actually mine. I'll share it with it. All right, so what we're looking at on GJ over here looks like we are holding a support, but are we coming up to reject this level once more? Look at all these wicks over here on the 30-minute. This is a high like interest area that price keeps rejecting multiple times. So now we're rejecting this area. We were just in this area. Now we're starting to reject this area. We just did twice. This bullish candle, we pushed all the way up to this area, left a bigger wick than the body. This candle flipped bearish, closed below this level. Now, are we going to tap into this area, retest it, and then start to flip bearish, passing the low of that candle? Would you want to take an impulse there, or would you rather wait to see how this candle closes to continue down and maybe take that at 8 o'clock? But again, you don't have to grab this move. This is only a move where you're reacting to the rejection of 200 up here, right? And you're looking to grab the move down to here. Maybe if we break this area, we could continue right back down to this area over here. But at the same time, you got to know your play. You got to know what you're actually trying to do. I'm bullish on GJ because the sentiment right now is that they're going to increase rates. So all you're trying to do here, you're not trying to leave this massive runner that's going to last all week if you're taking this sell right here. This is where it's like, all right, you take that sell, you're closing most of it at 10, 15 pips because you're looking for that higher low somewhere in here to then take this back up. I don't know if I would want to take this back up, but I'd rather wait for any kind of buys. I'd rather wait for price to break 200. But I can see this price rejecting and us getting a quick scalp this morning. Make sense?
Yeah.
Just want to say hello to.
I'm looking at buys over 155, 200 as well. Looking for a possible sell entry below 155. And hopefully wait for it to come down to test 154, 600.
Okay. So you're looking for the break below 155 right here.
Yeah.
Okay. By that point, you do only have 10 pips. Just so you know, just like a little update, not update, but just so you know, you only got about 10 pips in here. So that's just a question I want to ask if you want to take that. But at the same time, I can see us rejecting this area multiple times because look, if you look at GJ, could we reject this level today, right? We start to come down. We retest some of these levels over here today, right? Hold support, grab liquidity, grab a better price, and then we increase rates and then we continue through. Could anybody see that? Especially with how like gradually we're pushing up. I could definitely see us getting a rejection where price continues down, retest some of this area, and then we continue to head right back up. If we get this. But I definitely see this happening. Because if you take a look also, these candles over here, look what happened when this wick right here, this small body bearish candle, this is the last time we tapped into this area, and not the last time, but when we had similar price action, this candle tapped into that area, rejected. This candle came all the way up, tapped into that area up here, and then rejected again. Strong bearish candle coming all the way down here. So could we be getting the same exact thing? Rejection of this area, continue right back down. Just know that you're going to lower your risk a little bit because you are trading against the trend and you want to wait for certain things. 30-minute candle is now starting to flip bearish. We do get some good volume in this time. So I want to see this candle flip bearish past the low of that candle. To get the 15-minute. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this once we pass the low of this candle. And then once we pass the low over here of this little 15-minute support. Anticipating good volume to push us down at least 10 pips. Because we're right in the first 10 minutes of the 30-minute candle. We already created a top wick. Anybody looking at taking this?
I'm not too sure.
Okay. Well, is this your setup, Cat?
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Like I've seen it, or like I have it in mind sometimes to potentially take the second 30 or 15-minute candle that forms, expecting it to continue, just like if the previous candle closed bearish kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and expecting the next one to continue in the same direction, especially if we have like a range. I mean, sorry, clean candles to the left.
Mhm.
So in that sense, it is something that I look for, but I guess just because of like the ranging market thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what? To be honest with you,
mm-hmm.
I think it may be best. This is 30-minute. Okay. So this area that price wants to, looks like it wants to break through right here. Check out how many times we've rejected over here. Right? Got multiple rejections over here too. So maybe it's best to wait for a close below this level. And a close below the 15 over here. We got the 15-minute closing in 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Like instead of an impulse.
Yeah, well, what I'm gonna do, I'm wondering why this is happening. I'm entering dynamic risk right now, if it lets me.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. It did enter. I don't know why that happened. All right, we get that. Price is starting to pass over here. So will the 15-minute close in 3 minutes below this little support over here? So I entered one here. I entered one as we passed the low over here. Stop loss above the 30. And I'm going to enter another one if this 15-minute closes below this level. Make sense, guys?
Yep.
Looking to take it at least down into this whole area right here. What's up, Miles? We got other people on here too. We got Chris popped in. We got Gio. What's up, boys?
Not too
Nice to
much. What's
see
going
you.
on? Of
Thanks for popping in.
course.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. Went away for the weekend, so kind of got me out of my schedule. So slowly getting back into the routine.
Feels like we all went away this weekend. We had Miles went away. I went away. Reese went away. Anybody else? Gio gone on business?
I'm on a business trip right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, you will, my friend. Yeah, so let's see how this 15 closes. We got about 2 minutes left. It's looking good so far. Still in the first half of the 30-minute candle, about to be. Oh, awesome. I didn't even see you, Chris. My bad, buddy. I don't know why I keep exiting the chat. So you got a good workout in this morning, Chris. Yeah, my I don't know what's going on. My schedule has been so crazy late at night in the city. So I've been trying to like catch up on my sleep a little bit in the morning and wait maybe like an hour and a half or probably like 45 minutes later than I normally wake up, about an hour later. All right, 15-minute close below here. So I just entered another position as we closed. Let's get that tank. And again, remember if you guys are in this right now, remember your idea for this trade. The idea for this trade is not to take this swing for forever over here. Like I'm securing most of this thing once we get this mirror of this candle. Makes sense? This is normally a high volume time. Let's work. Chris, what are you guys doing at night with what is it, 1,000 reps? Push-ups, setups?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we do 100 push-ups every night, and we do sit-ups and flutter kicks.
Okay.
So we do basically 5 sets of 20 push-ups, and we do. Well, he just does. We do like sit-ups and flutter kicks for 30 seconds.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Good
So
shit.
he excited about it. He telling everybody he had 1,500 push-ups. Like he want to get to 10,000. I'm like, hey, all right, we got to do it every day. We want to get to 10. I mean, Monday through Friday. It may
100%.
take a while, bro. So I'm just happy he excited about it. Like he initiated this workout. You know, I never wanted to, force him to work out or make him work out because that's what I do. And he just, I don't know, he just wanted to start working out. So that made me happy.
Listen, that's where you want him, right?
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, like having that influence on him. Like now he's starting to pick up on what you do. He sees you doing it as an example. Your wife too.
Mm-hmm. She do Monday through Friday.
What with him? She does Monday through Friday?
Yeah, she do. She work out with me at 5 a.m. in the morning. She work out with me at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Nice. Checking out the 5-minute over here on this trade to see if we're reacting to this support over here. Maybe we're reacting to it, but we continue to push through it. But we will see. 30 minutes having some difficulty over here. Who else is in this trade?
I took a trade.
Okay. So you're in this, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm looking at the 5 as well. If the 5 starts passing up the previous 5-minute candle, I'm gonna close like 25.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's this level right over here. So as you can see, this wick, see this area over here. Now price is starting to react to it in this area. So maybe this was a little premature. I like the setup on the higher time frames. The 30-minute is now flipping bullish, which now I'm going to just cut half. Yeah, it was good. I'm just going to cut half of that just because this is one of those trades, one of those setups where it's really iffy, and you're trading in a range right here, and you're trying to play the range. But we've seen this many times where exiting this area, rejecting 200, right? We come down, create a new low, come up, reject this area once more, right? And now we create a top wick past the low of that candle. A lot of times we get that drop, right? Maybe if it was New York, we get that drop. But you got to manage risk. Number one thing, preserve your capital, live to see another day, live to see another trade. Not every trade has to play out. All right, I am completely out of that trade now.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Awesome. So I closed. Let's see where we closed, and let's see what we could have done any better. I closed basically half. So I closed one position right here, and then another position right over here. Right. So when this candle came up, I didn't close anything. But when it started to retrace, I waited for this 5 minutes to close bullish, holding this support over here. So that's where I closed the first position. Then this candle started passing the high over here, and that's where I entered or closed the other position. So I think that's the best way we could have managed this. Now, when it comes to the entry, maybe a cleaner close below this level over here. But we could just be grabbing liquidity right now. Tapping into this area to continue right back down. But either, even if it does do that, I'm kind of not appealed to this too much anymore. Make sense? So this is where you really got to be careful trading in ranges like this. Again, there's certain ranges you could play, like this setup right here, right? We saw it. We waited for the 30-minute candle, did everything we wanted it to do. We stayed patient. We waited for it. But at the same time, you just got to be able to preserve capital and know how to work these ranges. Let me take this off. Let's actually break down the rest of gold over here. I thought we did. Thinking of yesterday, I guess. So anyway, we're tapping off this level over here, high demand area, price is shooting up from this area over here, but now we're going to be approaching this level right up here, right? Previous support, resistance, wick rejection area. So are we going to come up, fill this wick, continue up to this area, maybe hold resistance and then continue down? I can see it. We got to see what they give us though. Yeah. So now what we did this yesterday where we tapped into this area. We've been making these higher lows, higher highs, pushing all the way up here. And now we're coming right back down to grab liquidity with this candle. This candle has no top wick. This candle created a bottom wick past the high of that candle. Are we coming up to retest these highs? That's simple. We can actually mark off this area right here. That's our resistance. Got this wick, this support right over here. And then also you got this whole area over here to the left as well. Looking at the 1 hour. 1 hour. We're sitting at this support. So now we're sitting in this range over here, right? Now look at all these rejections up here. We're now going to adjust this a little bit to the most recent resistance. So now we're starting to climb up, but we're starting to come into all these rejections over here. So maybe you'll have a safer buy above this level up here, above 1809, 1808. I would say 1808 coming right back up. And we can get rid of this. Let's see what I have that level as. I had to keep it right here. So that's our next level coming right back up. Once we break this resistance over here, we should be filling this area coming right back up to this previous support. Yeah, I could see us filling this wick right over here. If we break above 1808, I could see us at least filling this wick and potentially coming up into this level over here. 30-minute. 30-minute, we're now holding support right over here and like kind of pushing up, right? What could we, can we get some kind of a support over here to then continue driving up? This is a nice strong 30-minute candle over here. So I think we're getting ready for ADP coming out. And ADP, they're expecting to be terrible. Where is this? ADP is expecting to be only 185,000 jobs added, right, to the non-farm payroll. So this is interesting. If we get that, you're going to see gold rally a little bit. So I think they're kind of pricing this in. Respecting this trend. Good job managing risk on GJ over here. GJ is just a range. There's a reason why I've barely been touching this all week. Actually, I haven't touched this all week. It's just a mess. That was an anomaly. A trade, me taking a trade like that. But I've seen that play out many times. So at this point, I think I would have waited for a close below this level and waited for that. But I thought we were going to get that volume from like 7:30 to 8.
Yo, Steph.
Miles.
So I'm trading, well, I'm not in a trade right now, but I'm looking for either buy or sell on GU right now.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, I'm assuming it would probably make the most sense to wait for the ADP. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. It's not coming out too far from now.
Mm-hmm.
So
15 minutes.
you got about 15 minutes now, and then you also have 3 minutes for the hour to close. So I wouldn't be taking any trades right now. Not only the hour to close,
I definitely wasn't gonna hop in right now, but yeah.
All right, cool. You want to send it over? We'll take a look at the setup.
Yeah, sure. Let me send it.
What a mess. Yeah, so at this point, I would stay out of this range right here and wait for 200 to break. Anybody take anything on gold this morning? No, nothing, Chris. Let's work. I thought you were, Chris, I thought you were answering me. Like, anybody take anything this morning? You're just like, let's work. All right, let's actually take a look at some of these trades while we're waiting for this.
Also, so just I sent it in the New York session if you wanted to take a peek.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You guys sending your charts. Let's go. Oh, Reese, you sent this. I didn't even see that. All right, so this is Chris, gold dollar, looking for buys 1 hour close above 1805, 5 to 15 minute close above 1805, cowboy entry. Sells below the 4 hour. Okay, that makes sense. Previous resistance right over here. Right, if we close back below this area, we should be coming down. I think safer sells. Retest of 1795 created a strong support at 1798. I think safer sells might be below that area because once you come below here, I think you're really ranging in here, right? There's no clear direction of where price is going to go. But once we break this area of 18 or 1795, then we should be continuing right back down to at least in this whole area right here. Right, Chris? Awesome. Thanks for sending. Reese. Take a look at Reese. No trade area. I like it. Possible entry here once price breaks below 15. Okay. 155. Yeah, I think after that past trade we just took, Reese, I think this is all Dunsky. This is the only thing you should be waiting for.
Yeah.
Just buys right above here.
155, 200, right?
Hey. All right, Miles. Looking at British pound dollar in this bullish trend. We're in this recovery phase, right? GU is in a big downtrend, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of U.S. pairs in the downtrend because of the U.S. dollar being stronger now, that they're going to be increasing rates and it's going to be worth more, right? So basically that's all being priced in. You're going to see Euro USD on its downtrend. You're going to see GU on its downtrend. So right now, sells must see rejection in form of strong bearish close below 4 hour resistance. What does that say? EP.
Yeah, opportunity.
Okay, cool. Opportunity for counter trend trade on the retracement. Okay, so buyers must see break and retest above 4 hour resistance. So this is the 1 hour. So you're just waiting for
the next
break
one's a
and
4 hour if you wanted to see that.
Okay, and then this you're just looking for the close below here. If we reject this level, you see us coming down.
Yeah, just because I see like it's obviously it looks like it's pretty overextended at this point. So I'm thinking, if I got like a strong 30-minute bearish close below there, then that could be an opportunity. But I also could just wait for a support to be formed to retest the high as well.
This is the setup that you see many times when, especially in the stock market, when everyone's talking about a stock, right? Everyone's talking about a stock, everyone's buying this thing up, and this is where a lot of the big banks and everything just sell because you have a bullish run right over here, bullish trend right over here. Price is reaching its high up here. We could very well reject this area and continue right back down over here to then maybe continue right back up, especially if they increase rates tomorrow. So I see us grabbing liquidity up here, heading right back down, right, to get into better favorable buy areas, and then you take that thing right from over here. You sent the 4 hour. I mean, 4 hours very strong. Yeah, so 9 o'clock. Just see if this candle closes above or below this level, and then we'll check out GU once we get to that point.
Sounds good. Also, just because you said that, because obviously GU, what you said about the US pairs, because GU obviously is, well, right now it's increasing, but overall, I guess you were saying overall, like the reason why it's in a major downtrend is because it's weakening in comparison to the US dollar.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Let me see. Yeah, GU keeps making like these lower highs over here. Right? We rejected this key level over here, lower high, lower high, lower high, another lower high. What are the chances we come right back down to create another lower high and continue right back down? Right? We did hold a support over here. And this is because of the sentiment of increasing rates. Well, actually, they did increase rates. So they increased rates right here, which brought us right back up here. Right now, we created a higher low over here in late January. So now we're on our way up, knowing that they're probably going to be increasing rates again, continuing up. So maybe what you could get is like a retest of this trend line, or even like a retest of this high over here. We hold resistance and then we continue right back down. But you're gonna see a pair like GJ, continue to rally because the yen is not as strong as the dollar. Does that make sense? Like if they increase rates, you're gonna see GJ continue to rally. When you see increasing rates in Great Britain, you're gonna see GU continue bullish, correct itself a little bit, and then probably continue right back down. It's not going to have as much of an effect on a pair like GU. Plus, it's a major.
Gotcha.
I am going to use the bathroom for 2 seconds, and I'll be right back. I don't want to miss the our move. So right now we're stalling a little bit over here on gold. Let's see if we hold this resistance as a support. Yo. All right. Hey, Chris. Chris had to hop off. He had to go to work, Cat.
Oh, okay.
But he normally does both. Like he'll trade really on the daily 4 hour and the 1 hour. But he'll be able to look at some of these lower time frames on gold too to see some advantageous entries.
Nice.
Yeah, with this trade over here, we should have waited for this candle close. One more 30-minute.
Question for this ADP news: are we still kind of waiting to trade the reaction of
Yes.
the news? Like, is that usually like the best approach?
Oh yeah, you're gambling if you trade the actual. Nobody knows what's going to happen, you know.
And that usually happens about 5 to 10 minutes after news comes out, or it just depends. Like, how do you know when it's over?
I've heard multiple people say this. They say 12 to 15 minutes after the move happens. Normally, what I would do is it's normally around like 10 minutes, or I wait for like the next 15-minute close, or sometimes a 30-minute close, depending on the setups. So we got to see. So with gold over here, I'm expecting us to have like if we have this amount of drop in the in ADP right over here, I'm expecting us to grab liquidity, maybe on gold over here, and then continue to head right back up. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I'd rather get buys above 1808 over here. So let's mark that off so you guys see it. Got about a minute left. Oh. $18.08. And then I think safer sells on gold are going to be below right over here. 1796. Up, here we go. What did it just come out at? Let's see what do we get?
I got negative 301.
All right, gold buys. So we want to see what's going to happen over here. So gold is now flipping bullish over here. I mean, I think you might be able to get in on this. But I think safer buys are going to be just above this level. Once we start breaking over here, that should be good. Trying to watch this over here. Those are terrible numbers.
What does that mean again?
That means that the job numbers closed. Okay, so now we're approaching this level. So ADP, let's study ADP real quick. Let's see. So the estimated change in the number of employed people during the previous month. So Kat, I'm sure you've worked somewhere before, right? Okay, so when you've worked somewhere, what normally is written on the top of those checks?
How do you mean?
Like the company that produces the checks for you. what I'm trying to say is like, have you seen ADP written on like the company that provides the checks? Have you seen?
Oh,
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I guess I haven't paid attention to it.
Okay. So with that, this is the main company in the United States, at least, and I think in Canada too. I don't know. You guys would be able to help me with that. Miles, Reese,
Yeah.
Canada too. Okay, so this is the main. They're called Automatic Data Processing Inc. They provide the checks, and they have all the data for any kind of jobs added by businesses over the course of, what are we at right now? So this is, every single month we got ADP coming out, right? So release monthly, usually on the first Wednesday after the month ends for the previous month. So this is all data coming out from January. So this is just a preview of where NFP is going to be. So I'm looking at this. This is terrible, right? This is terrible, showing us that maybe the Fed, instead of increasing rates by 50 basis points, maybe, again, they're going to be doing it by 25. Or maybe they're going to be hesitant on increasing rates at all by March, because this is showing us that the economy is not really ready for it.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is why you guys don't trade the news. I'm sure like after numbers like that, you guys get super excited. You want to take this buy, thinking that we're just going to head off, right? But it was only just to retest this previous resistance, and maybe we head down from here. And then we get the interest rate hike tomorrow from Great Britain, and then we continue bearish. But I think safer sells are going to be below this area over here. If you want to get high risk, high reward sells, maybe below this area, but I wouldn't trade in anything. And after numbers like that, it's hard for me to take sells on gold. That makes sense. That's on my name. That's on my name. So what do you like? Is anybody having issues with anything right now? Anything that you guys want to go over and speak about? Psychology, technicals?
This is just a random question, but is your Trello working? Because mine just kind of, I don't know what just happened, but I'm refreshing the page and it's not working.
Yeah, I'll try right now for you.
I don't know what happened, but it happened right as the news came out.
Man, everyone's trying to. Yeah, no, you're right. So their server's probably down. They'll be up in like 5-10 minutes, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you already know that I've been having like a few issues here and there, and like, oh my God, I got so scared that everything's gonna disappear, and it's like, no, what do I do?
Nah, no. He mentioned that. I mean, how many trades would you say you have journaled already since coming in here?
Well, more consistently as soon as I kind of got the hang of things since the second week of January. So I journal even the times that I don't trade.
Good.
So yeah, I think it's well over 20 at this point, probably.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah.
At this point I'm attached to it. I'm like, no, please.
you guys should be. We know. Sorry about that.
No worries.
So you should be journaling all the trades you should have been taking, right? And the more you go back and look at those, and I this may be a little far, but it's really going to train your eyes. But going back every single week and reviewing your entire journal, right? Just looking through it, taking some notes if you see anything differently, but like having that goal for yourself, kind of like what I say, like 7 hours of back testing all week long. If you miss one day, you got to make up for it the next day. Same exact thing with like looking over your trades and seeing what you could have done differently. Because I promise you, if you guys are putting the correct amount of work in, it only takes 2 weeks for you to go back to a previous trade and see what you would have done differently, just because you're a better trader now. Your eyes are trained more. And now you realize maybe not every single trade, maybe, you have expertise, when you were doing those. or the same amount of expertise, and there's nothing really you could do differently on that trade. But there's going to be plenty of trades that you go back and look at your cards on Trello and see that you could have done something differently, or you wish you'd done something differently.
Looks like this 30-minute GU could possibly be closing bearish.
On GU, let's check it out. GUD. All right. So the last 30-minute candle closed with no top wick over here. This candle, I'm assuming, passed the high right away.
Yeah, I think so.
Now we're starting to reject. So where's our next zone over here? We have this area right here. All right. So we have that zone over there. Previous support resistance on the 4 hour. So we know that's a strong zone that we may want to come down and retest. So this is a key area over here. And it's hard for me to take any sells on GU. So just wait for a clear support. Wait for candles to form something like this, which you have right here, right? Like that's a clear break and retest, right? This, you really don't know what's going to happen. Like we're now at a previous key area, previous support, resistance, all the way up to the 4 hour, right? Maybe even the daily. Yeah. Key area on the daily too. So I could definitely see us wanting to retest that before continuing up, but wait for something like this. You know, setups like this, right? Setups like right over here, where we reject over here, we hold support, and then we continue right back up, right? Sorry, I'm dealing with something right now. GU, we'll see. It looks like this is going to close bearish, Miles. I'm not sure why I have that level marked off. But let's see what it does. But do you get what I'm saying? Like waiting for your setup?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wasn't gonna hop in now anyway, so I was just seeing because I know. Yeah, I'll see. I'm trying to get some more, I guess, expertise when it comes to the counter trend trades. Just because I know this is so overextended, and there has to be. I mean, if we close back below that, because I have the same zone as you, and I'm just thinking if we do close below that, and then we pass the low of that, then we should be coming to do some form of retracement. But I hear what you're saying too. Like I wouldn't deny that the higher probability trade would probably be just waiting for some sort of support to retest the high if we were to continue.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick for you. So we have a video in here. I want to see where it is. What the hell is it? You know what? Maybe I didn't add it to the course and I only sent it into shit. Did I only send it to Slack? I made a video a while back on calling tops and bottoms, like the correct way to, if that's what you're trying to do. Damn, I can't believe What's up, guys? Oh, here we go. I never added it to the course. So this is like a counter trend trading example, right? We can actually play this right now. Actually, I just want to check the chart. It's 8:30. Looks like this candle's retesting that area. GJ is on its way up, back up to 200. Again, safe buys above 200. Just closed below. This candle just rejected real hard, but left a wick right here. Can that wick get filled? We did hold support. We never closed below over here. So this is what I'm talking about, trading the reaction to the news. But that's a hard rejection of that area over there. So I think, again, safe buys are going to be above 1808. Safe sells are going to be below 1796. But if we close below this level over here, I could see price continuing down, at least down into 1800 and tap 1800. If you close below 1802, 200. Make sense, guys?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Awesome. I'm going to play this for you guys. I think this is the video. So you guys understand like how to kind of take some of these trades. Finally, I'm able to get a little time to myself and do a little back testing, get back to some of the stuff I love doing. So I wanted to point out a setup that I would have taken. This is this past Monday. It would have been February 21st, 2021. Now, a lot of you have been bringing up the fact that you want to take counter trend trades and you're asking how to take them. First of all, you shouldn't be taking counter trend trades, but when I would, and the way I would is I would wait for that support to say. Wait, let me explain that real quick for you. So when it comes to taking counter trend trades, you need to wait for another another confirmation. Does that make sense? That was actually the hold on. What's going on, guys? Here we go. I'm finally able. First, they're trading and the price is bullish. You want to remain bullish. Now, the only way that you want to counter trend trade is if price is at a higher time frame resistance. you want to wait for price to break the most recent support on maybe the 1 hour or the 4 hour, and then wait for that support to be broken and take that price down. Now, this is a trade that I would have taken on Monday, and I'm going back and I'm back testing the entire week just to get a review of the week and see what I would have done differently. So this is the daily on GJ. Obviously, price is very bullish. Now, if you look all the way to the wow, left, we were at 148 at that point. 148,200 is a very significant level. Price is rejecting that level right here. You have a very strong, or not a very strong, but you have a big bearish wick. The top wick of this bearish candle right here, where price came all the way up and then rejected. This candle ended up coming all the way up to 148, let's say 300, and rejecting. It passed the high of this candle right here, and they came all the way back down. Now, on the 4 hour, you see resistance being formed right here, 148,200, right? Now, price on Sunday opened up with a gap. Now, price is going to come down and fill that gap, and this is how we're going to catch it. So you got 3 bearish candles right here. Now, on the 1 hour, you have this consolidation, right? So you want to wait for, if you're going to trade against the trend and try to call sells when price is very bullish, you want to wait for this support to be broken. You want the retest, and then you want to take that price down to then fill this gap over here and also fill these wicks, right? So now, I didn't post it yet. Okay, so here on the chart, we're looking at the 1 hour. Now look at the 30-minute. So I would have entered this right here as price broke below, closed below this support over here. Again, look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour, this is a nice, strong bearish candle right here with a strong candle close, but it rejected this support, closed above support. Now in the 30-minute, you have price closing below, coming up to retest, and then this candle having no top wick and a wick to fill leaving. It's a very strong bearish 30-minute candle. Anticipating price to come down to fill this gap, you're anticipating price to fill this wick over here, and continue bearish. I would have entered after this 30-minute candle closed, where I would have put my stop loss above this candle right here, about 11.4 pips away, went a little downtrend like this right here, and I would have taken this at 9:30 at New York Stock Exchange Open, and I would have taken this down 21 pips. Now we can play this to see where it ends up, but I would have secured. Let's see. I would have secured at 9.5 pips at this wick and be very conservative with counter trend trading. You want to secure as soon as you can. You want to put your stop loss at break even, and this is where I would have secured right here. I've been saying all week to a lot of you guys that it's going on, guys. So I'm finally able to get some time to myself, do a little back testing, get back to what I love to do. Oh, sorry, guys. So it was actually on in the course. It's called Executing Counter Trend Setup in Technical Analysis. I just wanted to point out gold over here. So gold looks like it's actually trying to fill this 15-minute wick over here. But again, I think safer buys are going to be above this level. Make sense?
Yeah, I almost took that buy for the wick fill, but I stopped myself because there wasn't a bottom wick, even though I know gold can probably care less about that. But
well, no, you have a point there. The main thing is too, we are respecting this previous resistance as a new support, right? And this candle never flipped bearish, it never closed below this level over here. So this, it's a different setup. Like this isn't something that you've seen before, you've really taken, correct?
Probably seen it here and there in simulations.
True.
I think but that's about it.
So you did get this 5-minute close in this area. The only thing is that's such a strong rejection, right? To me, I'd just rather wait for that close above, and we could take this thing up and rally this right back up to 1814. Unless we get a nice setup here on the 5-minute, above this level. But to me, I'm probably good. Let me see something. What we're also doing right now. I don't like that. Okay, so since tapping into 1850 up here, wow, we're starting to meet up right over here. Wow. Okay, so since tapping up here, we've just been making lower lows and lower highs, right? So we just made a new low, right? We come right back down to 1784, and then we've gradually been coming up. We've gradually been correcting ourselves, and now we're tapping into this area once more. So this is the third tap of this area, and that's probably why we got that rejection, even though we had such bad numbers coming out of the US. So now, are we stalling over here? And then you'll get those safer sells once we pass below 1796, and you could possibly take this down from 1796 all the way back down to 1782 and continue those sells for gold. Because now we're getting into our market recovery. Now we're getting into tapering, increasing interest rates, stuff like that. So like if you look at the monthly over here, what happened last time that was all going on? Right? You had the spike up from the 2008 market crash. Look at this. 2008 happens. We spike up all the way up to new historical highs of 1900, actually 1919, right? And then we enter this market recovery phase, right? We're trying to get used to everything. We're getting back into like tapering, stuff like that, trying to get used to the market, like people getting back to work, stuff like that. Businesses are starting to open, stuff like that. That was going on back in 2008. We're bailing out the banks. Remember that? And then again, once we started that initial tapering and also increasing rates back in 2011, 2012 over here, mid 2012, then you started to see this decline in gold, right? We're starting to get back to market recovery. So can we be getting the same thing over here? We're just in the early stages of it, where now the US is going to start increasing rates. We're going to start on that decline a little bit and respecting this trend line and continuing right back down to some of these levels over here, 1750, right? 1680, all the way down here possibly. That'd be a move. But these are some of the things that you need to plan for in the higher time frames. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Cool. So yeah, that's interesting. The way we are now meeting up with that trend over here. Because I had this drawn, but I erased my chart this morning. So yeah, we're coming right back up to that area over here. So that's interesting. This is what we've been talking about since Monday. This area that we could be meeting up with. So again, safe buys, this is going to play that perfectly without that trend line. Safe buys still above 1808, and then safer sells are going to be below 1796. All right, GJ broke 155, 200, right? But we just rejected it. All right, we just broke above. We never closed above that area. Now you're going to have to ask yourself what kind of trade you want to take. Do you have a clean move to the left? Not so much. You have these wicks up here. What are the chances we come up here? See, if you get a close above this level, you could possibly take an impulse right back up to 300. But you only have 20, what's it called? Look at this. Only got 10 pips in here. So maybe you want to wait for a break and retest over here for like let's say the 930 volume, right? 930 volume 10 o'clock, 10:30, 10, 11 o'clock, that volume. By that point, maybe we get a nice break and retest of this area and we could take this thing back up. How's my voice sound like that? But so far, the 4-hour looks good. Let's look at the daily. Daily flip bullish and is now passing the high of that candle. So the daily looks good. We're continuing this bullish trend. 4-hour candle is now holding support over here, starting to pass these wicks over here. 1 hour starting to break above over here. So let's see if we get a close above that level at some point. What's everyone looking at over here? Let's see, Gio, what are you looking at, buddy?
I'm actually waiting for a 4-hour close.
Okay, so you're up on the higher time frames.
And if on the lower time frame this price gets rejected at 155.200,
Yes.
I'm looking for a sell. So confluence of a 4-hour making its bottom wick. So I'm gonna try to grab that part.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, 4 hours going to close in 17 minutes.
But yeah, I want to see a rejection in the 15-minute here in this level, 155.200.
Got it. Yeah, it's a strong level. So let's see how that 4. Yeah, you're best off waiting for the 4-hour to close, getting that bottom wick on the 4-hour, if anything, unless we reject this level and maybe get like a fake out. Gold, we are rejecting now. Strong level over here. Again, same exact thing for gold over here. We actually just closed here on the 15-minute with no bottom wick. This is something you probably want to wait for the 4-hour close. See how this candle closes? Does it close bullish or bearish? Does the next candle create its top wick? Kind of like what we were looking at on GJ today. Create a top wick and then pass the low of that candle. Because again, we get the spike of that data, but at the same time, it may not change the Fed's decision on increasing rates. So they're still pricing that in. That's the main mover, not so much bad ADP numbers. Although it is serious, it may not mean too much to gold. You see why you don't really trade the news? Because even if you backtested it enough, it's still very difficult to predict where price is going to go. Did this video make sense, by the way, so far? With how, like, if you're going to call tops, it's got to be a major resistance or a strong resistance. We'll just wait for the retest and then take this thing down. So I think, Miles, you were talking about that?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so if you're waiting for tops, just wait for the retest of that recent support, at least the 30-minute.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. And I knew I added that to the course. All right, so just a quick recap. Again, I'm waiting for that 4-hour close. I would like to see the 4-hour close the way it does right over here. Next 4-hour candle creates its bottom wick, retests this whole area. Strong close above these wicks, but next candle creates a bottom wick and maybe passes the high. And then on the lower time frames, that could possibly be like a retest or something like that. Our classic support retest that we look for, or breaking retest that we look for, and then we can continue up. I would be aware of this area, but if we get volume, we should be pushing through there.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So when we get to about this time, like for instance, I'm looking at gold right now still, and I feel like we might not get that move till like maybe NYSE a little bit after, if anything. Sorry for the airplane, Miami, I swear.
Wow.
But
You got a big airport over there.
yeah.
It's actually like ridiculously big.
Yeah. No, it is pretty big.
Oh my God. It's the biggest airport I've been in. Besides maybe JFK.
Yeah, JFK is huge.
Yeah. It's like crazy miles.
But yeah, so like when we start getting to this point, I'm not expecting price to do much until perhaps that time. But then I get a little stuck where, first of all, I do want to follow my plan as far as like trading times go, but also keeping in mind like how you've mentioned times before, like if you don't catch that 1 or 2 trades, or you might want to take that second trade, you could wait until like maybe 10 a.m. or something like that. In this kind of situation, would you kind of just continue like waiting for it, or would you set alarms or something like that? Because there's so many times that I get up at some point like this, and when I get up and come back, I missed the freaking move.
Yeah, so we actually put that on your trading plan. So it's my trading times are from 6:30 to 9. And if I don't catch anything in that time frame, I have until 11 o'clock to take a trade. I don't have to take a trade, but I have until 11 o'clock because I know I have that volume from London, right? Once 11 o'clock comes around, then 12 o'clock, London's done. They're all closed. So you don't have that volume anymore, and you definitely don't have Asian anymore. So you only have New York volume. And at that point also, those guys are going to lunch working on Wall Street, right? You know, people are taking breaks, people walking away from their computers a little bit midday, right? And then they're coming back after half an hour or an hour. Then you get some volume around 1:30, 2 o'clock during New York, and then you get some volume before New York close around 4, right? So these are certain times that you're looking at. I'm not looking to trade in the afternoon because I get all my trading done in the morning, and if I don't catch anything, I'm done, right? But you have until that time if you want to take a trade. If you didn't take anything this morning, Kat, you have until 11 o'clock if you want to take a trade and you see something. But just make sure you're being selective the way you are right now. I think that's very good. If you want to talk to anybody about being selective, it's Gio. Gio's been very disciplined with GJ. And if he doesn't see what he doesn't want to see, he doesn't take a trade. You've gone a week without taking a trade, right, Gio? Or maybe taking like one trade?
The most I have was actually even 2 weeks.
So you've gone 2 weeks without taking a trade because you didn't see what you like.
Yeah.
How is that first trade back?
Well, I was still watching the charts.
Yeah.
And I was still trying to look for possible trade within that day or within that, day or a week. I'll try to, because usually every end of the week, what I do is I usually look at, the past price action for the past week and see where can I get, good quality trades from those, from those time frame or from those scheduled trading hours that I scheduled myself. But yeah, once I get back, it was just, there was no big difference because I think what makes a big difference is that if you're out of the chart for so long, and then when you get back, you have to train your eyes again to see, the setups that you're looking for.
Yeah. And honestly, that only takes one weekend. That only takes a couple of days of you guys not looking at the charts and seeing what you like to see, where you're gonna feel your eyes are kind of out of whack. That's why it's so important to at least like review your journal a little bit on the weekend. If you have a busy weekend, like one that Miles had, Reese had, I had this past weekend, at least just like kind of look at your journal and stuff like that. I was hopping on a couple of Zooms with you guys while I was up there, but at the same time, I wasn't able to really review my trades too much. I did a little back testing at night, but not too much. And you feel that slump a little bit. You feel that slump in everything when you come back from vacation, because it's like gotta adjust, stuff like that. But I've always been impressed by the way Gio is very selective. He doesn't have to take a trade every single day. He's looking at the charts. He's interested. He's engaged, but not every day is a trading day.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah, go ahead, Kat. Sorry.
Oh no, that's it. I'm just trying to like do the same thing, because sometimes I like pressure myself into thinking that I need to take a trade, and it's like, no, you knew from the start that you shouldn't have, but you did anyways because your ego.
Yeah,
everything boils down to discipline, right? I'm kind of looking at it the way I built my discipline working out. You don't have to be at the gym for like 2, 3, 4 hours for you to build muscle. It's what you do outside of the gym.
It's a great point,
right? So same thing in trading. Like you go to the chart, you don't have to be there for like 4 or 5 hours. You follow your trading plan. You stay in that, like stay in the chart for like 2 hours. After that, you walk away. Same thing with leverage, right? It's people, what they do is that they try to bet big on trading to make big money. And where in fact, like even at the gym, like you think that you're gonna lift heavy weights, that's where you build muscle. No, actually, I mean, what I do is that
doing steroids.
Yeah, you just lift whatever, a lightweight, but then you do a proper rest. Because in the long term, if you keep lifting heavy weights, you might get injury, right? And what happens is that you go back to zero. So so that's how I look at it. It's a process. Like it takes process, and it takes effort. It takes discipline for you to build that muscle. Same thing with trading, the discipline. That's all the backbone of it.
100%. So like you personally, when you haven't caught a trade those first 2 hours, you won't wait for another hour or something like that?
No, I don't really look at the charts after. I mean, I'm not here trying. Actually, I don't know. Main goal is not to. If you are trying to make money, like your first source of income is trading, I don't really see you being successful. It's hard if you're trying to catch money.
For sure.
You should have a primary source of income, and I think trading should be just a kind of supplemental part of it for you to be successful. Because if you're trying to catch money in trading, you always want to be in the chart. You always want to take a trade, and you're like, oh, if I don't make a trade today, then I don't have. Basically, if you're trying to support a family, you're like, oh, I don't have the money to feed my family for the day, because it's your main source of income.
Yeah,
and that's what happens, because you'll force yourself to take a trade if that's the case.
For me, my main issue is that I feel like I'll analyze the market correctly, and I'll want to catch the move that I see, but I sometimes end up, or most times I feel like I end up missing it. So that's kind of like bringing my confidence a bit down, because it's like I know my analysis is correct. It's just I walk up, or like I get up to grab some coffee or like something like that, and when I come back, it happened, and I'm like, what the heck? So it's mainly like that frustration of like knowing my analysis makes sense, but then missing it. Yeah, not even like about the money. It's just like I want to have confidence in my ability and catch the freaking thing.
Kat, that when it comes to that, those are things you learn from as far as like walking away from the computer. It's like, okay, I gotta correct that. I can't be doing that, especially when it's like my setup, stuff like that. But when it comes to missing trades in general, you're always gonna be missing trades. That's just inevitable. That's very extremely successful traders miss trades all the time. Think about the opportunities on other charts too, other pairs, other stocks. There's always trades that you're missing. There's trades in crypto right now that you're missing right now, right? And that you have to be okay with that. Same thing on your pair. If there's a trade that's outside of your trading time and you miss it, that's okay. You got to be all right with that. But when it comes to like walking away from your computer, not paying attention, or getting distracted by something, and you had your setup and all that, that's something that you need to correct. But when it comes to missing trades, because these aren't setups that you're used to, it's not something you back tested, stuff like that. That's something that you got to be completely okay with. Most traders aren't, and most traders fail. Most traders aren't okay with missing moves. That starts to pile up, and all of a sudden they start taking things that they don't normally take.
Right.
And I think I like Kat, I think I know I understand exactly what you're saying too, because like from the perspective of like not even caring about money. And it's one thing, because I'm the same way in terms of like, yeah, it's a good feeling to know my analysis is right. But at the same time, like your analysis being right is not what's going to make me successful. It's actually executing. So I think that's what Kat's saying is just like, you know, having that feeling of, yeah, your analysis is right, but that's only half the job. Like, what does a trader do? Do they just get analysis right, or are they able to execute on those ideas? And I think that's where it's like the chase comes from. It's not even about the money. It's just about proving to yourself, like, I can do the full thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's like legit my why, like proving to myself that I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like to your point to what Steph always pushes in terms of like, you know, the back testing and everything, like I think that helps big time too, just in terms of being able to really feel like you're still doing everything that you need to do. It's just not in a live market. So I think it helps a lot. And once you find that sense of calm, once you get to the point where you're consistently like completely okay, and it's like I feel like it's always a constant struggle. Like I'm no one to be talking, but once you feel like you're in a place where you're completely fine, seeing that you missed that trade, then it just becomes easier and easier. But I guess like what you're saying too is like the trickiest thing is just getting to that level of confidence in the first place, where you're just like, no, I'm cool watching this because I believe enough in my ability.
Spot on. And I think there's one thing that you want to pay attention to, and don't let it get to you too much, but it's win rate, especially with the way that we trade as scalpers. So it's not so much like, oh, I got a high win rate and it's an ego thing. It's more of like making the right decisions, like staying back and holding back on some of these setups you don't normally see, and waiting for the setups you always see, whether they happen every single day, whether they happen every other day. You got to be completely fine waiting for that setup, or you're waiting for those setups. And is it hard in the beginning to stick to a trading plan? Absolutely, because it's very basic. It's very minimalistic. It's one or two setups, one pair, one time frame, one session, all that stuff. And the reason why a lot of people deviate from it is because they either listen to other people, like with trades, family, friends, telling you, yo, you got to take this, you got to take that. And they start getting that FOMO. But also because they feel like they're never going to be able to improve or add to this trading plan. It's always going to be this basic, right? But that's not the case. The more you backtest, the more you level up. Think about video games. The more you're leveling up and the more you're getting used to your pair and your market. So now I can start adding more setups to my trading plan. I can start adding another session like the Asian session or maybe the London session, whatever you like to do, as long as you back tested it enough. But that's where all your confidence comes from. So just focus on making the right decisions, right? Also make sure you're choosing your own setups so that you're focusing on that win rate and raising your win rate from maybe 40% right now to 60%.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I guess my main question in all of this is when you make the decision that, all right, I'm going to give my trade or my trading time till like 11 a.m. You still got to eat or something unless you like starve yourself sitting down. You know what I mean? So like I kind of struggle with that situation of like getting up to get food or knowing what to do when, or do you just kind of push through on the charts is my main question.
Okay. So we're on the charts right now. I'm not going to take this, but let's say this 4-hour candle, like this 4-hour candle just closed bearish, but with no bottom wick. So I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't like this area over here, but I could see this candle flipping bearish. But let's say this candle was still up here, right? Say the candle was still up here, set an alert right here for when, like somewhere around here, for when price is going to flip bearish and see it's crossing that area, but it's starting to come close to that area. Now I can open my chart and see, okay, it's coming close. Now I can possibly enter a trade. Oh, wow. What the hell just happened?
So you would use alarms basically.
Yeah, just use alerts.
Got it.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to touch that. Look, we just rejected. That's why you wait for the close above on GJ. Still rejecting. Like I said, I think you need strong volume, number one. And number two, fundamentals to break you above an area like 200. Right? So maybe we get that today, maybe not. But just remember, we have interest rates tomorrow. So that's something that's and also unemployment for gold. So just keep that in mind. And stay safe in the market. Don't do anything stupid today. Just if you don't see anything that you like, GJ's ranging, gold is in that range too. Just sit out. And if you need that fix, if you need that opportunity to take a trade, you feel that you need it, just go over to the simulator and start back testing for an hour.
You'll I'm definitely going to do that a lot more today.
Yeah, that's if you get a lot of FOMO, that helped me a lot. Because I was one that in the beginning of my career just wanted to take a trade. I'd be on the live stream with Raquel. He wouldn't be taking anything, and I'd be like, "Damn, I want to take something." So what I would do is I would just go over to my laptop, open up Soft4fx, and I would start backtesting.
Right. Yeah. I guess I'm not really dying to take anything. I'm just wanting to see my move play out.
I get you.
But yeah, no, for sure. Like, I still think it's kind of crazy that on the simulator I'm up like 8.5%. So I'm trying to like figure out what that like where is that, I don't even know what the word is right now, like I get what you mean. Disconnect.
Where'd you start with that simulator?
I started last week ish, and it was I've done like a period of maybe a little over 7 days, like trading days on this.
That's it.
Yeah, like I've traded that simulator, that same simulation probably like 3 to 4 times. So I've saved it kind of, because you know how like you can save simulations and stuff.
Oh, so you're saying you've been adding on to you've been growing that account over a period of time?
Yeah, probably. Okay. I'll stop when I hit 15 or 20% if I'm able to do that, and then like start over. And hopefully at that point I'm able to somewhat figure out something as far as like how to be able to translate that simulator mindset, I guess, I don't know, to the charts. I guess it's interesting because when I look at the charts, I do try to, like on the simulator, I try to make it as close as possible as I can to my actual charts. But for some reason, like maybe it's just the way that you're trading on MT4 using all of those little tools, it feels just slightly different too. So it's almost like maybe it's playing games on my mind, thinking that, oh, I'm in a simulator, even though I try to treat it as much as I can to like, hey, this is a real account, you know, because I know at the end of the day, like that's what's going to make me consistent. So yeah, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. It's and you're actually doing better than I did with that simulator, because when I very first started trading and I first downloaded that, I would be in the drawdown for a little bit, and then I would have to work my way back over the next couple weeks, and then I started to be profitable on that, and then over time I was able to be profitable in the market. So like, I guess you were ahead of me. So just make sure that you're treating that demo account that you have on there as close to a real account as possible. And then the same exact thing with the market. Like, this is money right now when you're trading in the live market. This is money you can afford to lose. So it's a simulator. And if you treat that simulator like a real account, and you treat your real account like a simulator, you're going to be in a good spot.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
As long as you always treat that simulator like a real account. Because if you don't do that and you don't get practice doing that, and then you all of a sudden go over to the live account and treat that like a simulator, you're just going to be taking trades saying, oh, fuck it, it's just a simulator.
Right. Yeah.
You don't want to be doing that at all. That's not gonna help. So just keep your head down, keep working at it. The only difference may be risk management. Also, when it comes to live trading based compared to the simulator.
Yeah, and on the simulator, I've mostly been risking 0.5% as well. Like maybe.
And you're up 8%.
Yeah, maybe 1% here and there, but I think I've only taken maybe like 10 trades, probably.
Okay. That's great. You're doing good.
Or
So
less.
just keep it up and keep doing it. Don't get discouraged. Work on building the skill and work on building that win rate up.
For sure. Sorry for all the airplanes. I've never noticed them as much as
even
today.
hear
It
'em.
was seriously like 10 airplanes. I was like, geez, again.
I didn't even hear them. So you're
But
good.
yeah, thank you guys.
But yeah, guys, I'm gonna head off. I hope you guys had a good day today. Looking forward to tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right, guys, have a great day. All right.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
You too.